I was Lemon Peter, the Omega with a 100% compatibility match to Jack Wilson. During his rut, I became the desperate remedy forced upon him. I loved him, yet received only his contempt. When the cave-in trapped us in darkness, bitter lemon pheromones seeped through my blood. Jack recoiled as if I were poison, his voice gravelly with disgust. Even now you'd use pheromones to tempt an alpha. Lemon, you're truly pathetic. I curled tighter, pressing fabric against my gut wound. I'm sorry, I whispered. When I die, at least you'll never smell my scent again. Maybe that'll make you happy. Adrenaline faded. Pain exploded through my abdomen and back, white-hot agony stealing my breath. More pheromones leaked through clenched fingers. Within seconds, the cavern reeked of rancid citrus. From the opposite wall came Jack's sneer. Still playing the pheromone game? Pathetic doesn't begin to cover it. Lemon, even blind in the darkness. I knew that look, the hardened jawline, the cruel twist of lips that once kissed me tenderly. My chest constricted. I wanted to explain, this isn't intentional. I'm bleeding out. But Jack hated weakness. Better he never know. Crushing the wound harder. I repeated, I'm sorry. I'd acted instinctively when a boulder fell. Shoving Jack clear cost me dearly while he emerged unscathed. My body broke beneath the rubble. Your act doesn't move me. Jack growled. Rein in that stench before I lose patience. Blood soaked through my fingers. His voice turned glacial. It's over. Lemon, saving me changes nothing. The Wilson group answers to me now. No more arranged marriage. We file for divorce tomorrow. Those words hit like flash floods, eroding 10 years of shared history. My heart was in shambles. I blinked slowly, my throat tight as I rasped. Okay, if I survived until tomorrow. Meeting Jack became the greatest accident of my life. At 13, I've been diagnosed with high-functioning autism, though considered the most neurotypical presenting among autism spectrum disorders. I still exhibited marked social withdrawal, obsessive tendencies, and repetitive behaviors. In the sterile examination room, the doctor sighed while looking at me, such a porcelain doll of a child. What a waste. My father's company had just gone public then. The self-made Peter family finally joined Shanghai's elite circles. Thus, my condition became their shameful secret. They locked me away, only allowing contact with family and private tutors, until Jack appeared. That day, the servants forgot to lock my door during our mansion's gala. Enchanting music floated up from the garden. Drawn by the melodies, I ventured downstairs only to be surrounded by sneering children. Dummy, freak. Their taunts swarmed like hornets. Trembling, I crawled under a banquet table as they stomped and shrieked around me. Lucy watched silently from behind them, smiling. Then I saw him, Jack, already scowling like the adult he'd become, though barely taller than me then. Scram. His single command scattered them like startled crows. Kneeling, he peered at me with those intense eyes. Are you stupid? Why not scream for help? I nodded solemnly. Yes. Mother. Father. Lucy, they all said so. Jack's laughter rang clear as wind chimes. He ruffled my hair, warmth bleeding through his words. No true idiot admits being one. You're not stupid. That day branded two truths into me, terror's metallic taste, and Jack's kindness. He became my sole patient companion when even therapists grew frustrated. During sessions, my counselor asked, "How do you feel about Jack?" After careful consideration, I answered, "I like him. What about your parents and sister?" I blinked, enunciating clearly, "No, only Jack. He started visiting frequently, complaining about society Omega's thrust upon him. My beta neutrality soothed his alpha restlessness. The Wilsons reigned supreme among New York's elite. Jack's S-grade alpha pheromones making him the ultimate prize in their gilded marriage market. So my parents didn't stop him. They were thrilled to have Jack over daily. Every time Jack arrived, Mom would shove Lucy, dolled up in her finest, right in his face. "Young Master Wilson, our Lucy here's an Omega. You two should spend more time together." Jack wouldn't even glance at Lucy. I came for Lemon. He hated being controlled. He avoided Lucy like the plague, often crashing my study sessions, meals, even nap times. He'd gift me art sets with every imaginable pigment. Jack always complained I was so extra when meticulously organizing my colors, yet torn to Lucy if she echoed the sentiment. "Omegas are the high-maintenance ones." He'd snap. His favorite ritual was painting with me in the locked attic. I only ever painted moons. Jack claimed my lunar sketches outshone the real thing. One night he killed the lights and yanked the drapes shut. Silence swallowed us whole as we huddled beneath the desk, a single candle stub painting our knees gold. "Look, Lemon," he whispered, shadows dancing across his cheekbones. "We've got our own moon right here." I couldn't tell if candlelight or phantom moonlight gilded the slope of his nose. Mesmerized, I traced the warm curve of his brow, the blade-sharp bridge, finally brushing the dangerous dip above his lips. Jack shuddered violently, voice dropping octaves. "You're different, Lemon." I snatched my hand back, pulse thundering loud enough to wake the dead. Then his mouth found mine soft, tentative, devastating. When he pulled away, our eyelashes still tangled. "Now that," he grinned, thumb smudging my burning cheek. "That reaction's weirder." Jack never knew about my condition, just that I puzzled him. The real chaos hit our 461st day. Sunset bled through my windows when the fever struck. My skin erupted with tart citrus musk. Jack's pupils blew wide, every muscle quivering like live wire. "You two," he choked out before fleeing mid-sentence. He never came back. I ached for him constantly, especially when nurses pinned me down for suppressant injections. Through the haze, I caught doctors murmuring outside, "Late differentiation isn't uncommon for a class Omegas. Young Master Peter's heats will be brutal. Alpha dependency's inevitable." Me? An Omega? I could finish Jack's abandoned sentence. "You're one of them too." The creatures he despised. Now boulders seal our quiet cave. Silence used to comfort me. Now it amplifies the agony. Drenched in sweat, I begged through chattering teeth, "Jack, could you? Just a little scent?" Our compatibility's 100%. Even Hellfire can't melt that math. His pheromones brought me comfort, even dulling the pain. In the darkness, Jack's voice sounded strained, as though he was barely restraining himself. "What's wrong?" he sneered. "Forget to bring one of those stolen shirts or ties today." My throat tightened. So he knew. He'd known all along about the times I'd secretly taken his dress shirts and neckties to inhale his scent. It started during one excruciating night after another brutal encounter. Limping naked to the bathroom to clean myself, I'd stared at the bruises covering my body in the mirror. Only the unmarked gland at the nape of my neck remained pristine. No bonding bite. No comfort. The biology textbooks were right. Omegas really did experience crushing emptiness after intimacy without proper bonding. That night, I'd stolen one of Jack's white dress shirts from his walk-in closet. The crisp cotton still carried traces of his sandalwood pheromones. I crouched on the cold marble floor until my legs went numb, clutching the fabric to my face. Later, I'd hidden the matching navy striped tie beneath my mattress. I told myself I'd return it when the ache subsided. 246 days later, the hollow feeling still lingered. My tie. My voice barely rose above the dirt shifting around us. "I'll give it back." "Keep it," Jack snapped. "Throw the damn thing away." The ground trembled as heavy machinery roared outside our collapsed tunnel. Rescue teams were digging through the unstable mountainside. Jack scooped a handful of loose soil, his flashlight illuminating the crumbling walls. "Idiots. This whole area needed reinforced steel beams. Your precious Peter family cut corners using subgrade materials. He fixed me with that glacial stare that once used to make me feel safe. Did you think I wouldn't notice? That I'd be too distracted by having an Omega thrown at me to check the construction specs? His laugh held no humor. Tell me, Lemon, was it worth it? Letting your family pimp you out to cover up their shoddy work. The accusation hung in the dust, choked air. Somewhere above ground. The Wilson Group's lawyers were already circling. And I was just another Peter family bargaining chip buried in the rubble. He sneered. You beast. How dare you think of cooperating with humans? It was the second time I'd heard the word beast. The first was that night 4 years after we'd parted. Mom pointed at a sealed-off room, saying, Lemon, Jack is inside. Haven't you been waiting for him? Go in. He's in rut. He'll die if left alone. Your pheromones can save him. Will you do it? Of course. I answered without hesitation. High-tier alphas easily lose control during rut. Some develop severe complications leading to shock. I never doubted Mom's words. The heavy door opened outward. I was shoved inside. The room held an eerie silence broken only by ragged breathing, fighting against the storm of S-tier alpha pheromones permeating the sandalwood-scented air. I stumbled forward. As my eyes adjusted to the gloom, I saw Jack slumped against the wall, wearing a muzzle. He'd grown massive, every muscle taut like coiled steel. His bloodshot eyes locked onto me, a feral lion staring down prey. Before I could react, he pinned me beneath him. Sandalwood and lemon aromas collided, thickening the humid air. Frantically glancing around, I whispered, It's dark here. Let's watch the moon together, like we used to. But Jack seemed terrifyingly different tonight. With trembling fingers, I unclasped his muzzle. Does this help? His brows furrowed violently. Lemon, he growled through clenched teeth. Is this your scheme? To reduce me to some rut-crazed beast slave to primal urges? Ignoring my confusion, he spat with venom. Fine. You'll get exactly what you want. Fabric ripped. Cool air hit exposed skin, followed by his scorching weight. His burning breath seared my ear. You chose this. Suffer the consequences. I barely grasped his meaning before agony shattered me. Pain and indescribable sensation overwhelmed in waves. The bite of canines felt trivial compared to the flood of burning pheromones spreading through my limbs. For 7 days, I sobbed and struggled uselessly. When consciousness finally returned, I lay on a hospital bed with my throat raw. The rope burns around my wrists and ankles were wrapped in gauze, while the mating gland at the back of my neck still bore Jack's deep teeth marks. Jack had given me a permanent marking. Under you. Law. Permanently marking an unmated Omega carries severe criminal penalties for alphas. That's why we rushed into marriage and cohabitation. I thought after that night, Jack might become gentler, that he wouldn't hurt me so badly anymore. But instead, he grew crueler. Jack often loomed over me from behind, his voice as harsh as his movements. This is what you wanted, isn't it? He never saw me shaking my head, never heard my whispered pleas. Please stop. I just wanted to help you. Every night brought new ways to make me cry. I kept wondering what sin I'd committed, though I couldn't name it. If only I could be normal. Maybe I'd understand why Jack stayed so angry. My fear of him warred desperately with this aching need for his touch, a contradiction that left me sleepless, obsessively trying to solve this impossible equation. The doctors called it bond sickness. Jack was my alpha. Of course, I'd become pathetically dependent on him. Yet he despised me for that very dependence, creating an even greater paradox. No one ever taught me how to survive being loathed by the person you love. As the rescue team's voices drew nearer outside the cave, violent chills began racking my body, early shock symptoms. I might not make it until they arrive, but if I die here, at least this suffocating bond would break. Maybe Jack could finally be happy. My consciousness started fading. Suddenly, I remembered Doughball, the stray puppy I'd sneaked home. That pump-sized furball trembling in my coat pocket might be the only creature who'd miss me. "You've got 1 minute to ditch that mutt." Jack had snapped when he discovered it. Clutching my pocket, I stepped back. "He'll die outside." 3-2. Jack's anger spiked. "Or you both get out." When I turned toward our bedroom, he barked. "Where the hell are you going?" "Packing." I answered truthfully. His voice rose dangerously. "You'd leave over some stray?" I nodded. "Where exactly would you go?" He sneered. After 2 seconds of serious consideration, I admitted, "Haven't figured that out yet." Jack tipped his head back, pacing tight circles on the spot like a caged predator, unable to take it anymore. Jack snapped, "Lemon, I'm seriously done with you. Keep that thing under control. If I catch it running around or peeing anywhere, I'll bury it alive right in front of you." I trembled, covering Dumpling's tiny ears with my hands. Such terrifying words shouldn't reach her. The rumbling outside the cave subsided. Gathering my strength, I pleaded hoarsely, "Could you please look after Dumpling? And maybe stop being so harsh with her? Look after it." Jack's voice carried cold clarity, though he sounded distant. "Lemon, who do you think you are? If I feel like it, I'll dash its brains out before your eyes. Just like when I smashed your last inhibitor right in front of you. That time, I've been writhing on the floor during a brutal heat cycle when Jack accidentally shattered my final emergency inhibitor. He'd stared down at me with icy detachment. Oops. Clumsy me. But I could help you. Lemon." His boot nudged my trembling shoulder. "Beg?" Heat cycles strip omegas of reason and dignity. I clutched his pant leg, tears choking my voice. "Jack, please. All I needed was a drop of calming pheromones or a temporary mark." Through my blurred vision, I saw his cruel smirk as he leaned close. "Sorry, but your scent turns my stomach. Couldn't possibly put my mouth on you." Humiliation flooded me, leaving me wordless and shaking. I endured 3 days of agony before passing out, hospitalized with severe hormonal collapse. So he destroyed my lifeline deliberately. Those words, my voice shook. "You said them on purpose, too, didn't you?" "No." Jack's reply held clinical cruelty. "Your pheromones truly are revolting." Something shattered in my chest, sharp fragments shredding me from within. I felt no pain now, only icy numbness. Hearing my ragged breathing, Jack taunted, angry. In the darkness, I nodded faintly. "Good." He sounded bored. "Stay mad. You'll still crawl back to me first. Like when we were kids." He wasn't wrong. Whenever Jack upset me growing up, I'd always pretended to forget, sneaking back to tug his sleeve. I feared lasting anger would make him abandon me. But this time, his wrath had lasted 8 years, punishing me relentlessly since we were 14. Consciousness fading. I whispered, "Not this time." "What did you?" Jack's words drowned in sudden explosive thunder. A blinding white light flooded in, amidst the chaotic voices and sharp gasps. I closed my eyes completely. "Jack, this time, I'm the one letting you go." When the light exploded before him, Jack heard the rescuers' shocked cries. "Dear God, there's so much blood. Someone's injured. Get the medical team." His heartbeat stuttered violently. "Who? Whose blood? Who's hurt?" Jack forced his eyes open despite searing pain. Rescuers quickly covered his face with dark cloth. "The Omega trapped with you, sir. Didn't you know?" Jack's entire body jerked. He ripped off the blindfold, stumbling backward in panic. "Mr. Wilson, you can't open your eyes yet." A rescuer chased after him. "We need to evacuate now." Jack ignored them, fighting his way back to the cave mouth swarmed by medics. His voice shook. "Lemon, get out here now. What new game are you playing?" Silence answered him. Jack shoved through the surrounding nurses. Crimson filled his vision. Lemon lay curled in a pool of blood. Eyes closed. Porcelain face streaked with a single tear. Medics compressed his side wound. Faces grim. Critical blood loss. He's in shock. We need airlift now. Jack's ears rang. The spreading scarlet beneath Lemon's body burned his retinas. Impossible. He choked out. He wasn't during the landslide, Massive blunt force trauma from falling debris. The doctor cut in. The impact shattered his lower ribs. He's too thin for that kind of force. Jack remembered the avalanche's roar, Lemon's sudden shove that sent him sprawling. The boulder, that should have crushed him. His lungs seized. He grabbed an assistant's collar. Roaring over the gathering storm. Call the damn helicopter. No. Rotor blades thundered above them. Yet Jack heard every blood droplet hitting the floor. Fresh scarlet seeped through pressure bandages, dripping from the stretcher to form dark puddles around his shoes. Lemon's fading citrus scent coiled around Jack's throat like barbed wire. The oxygen mask couldn't hide his marble pale lips. Echoes of his own cave taunts haunted the cabin, a reek of desperate pheromones. Pathetic. Jack's throat constricted around burning coals. When the medic reapplied brutal pressure to Lemon's wound, he flinched as if feeling the agony himself. But Lemon remained motionless. No grimace. No whimper. Just that crystalline tear frozen on colorless skin. Doesn't he feel pain? The doctor froze for a second before answering. With such severe injuries, how could he not? The initial adrenaline surge from trauma response numbed it, but excruciating pain would follow soon after. He frowned skeptically. Didn't he cry out while trapped? Had Lemon cried out? No. He'd only whispered pleas for pheromones. Even when Jack sometimes deliberately took his anger out on him during their couplings, rough, punishing encounters, Lemon would merely bite his lip and whimper broken requests for gentleness. Afterwards, he'd silently retreat to bathrooms to sniff stolen dress shirts and ties. 3 years of marriage, and Lemon never once asked for pheromone comfort. Until that trapped moment when he finally broke his silence, desperately seeking even a whiff of relief from bone-deep agony. And what had he received? Jack's cruel rejection. Mockery. The sharp crack of palm-eating cheek echoed through the IU. Jack struck himself so hard his vision blurred. His omega had been bleeding, suffering, and he'd done nothing. No first aid, no pain management. He dropped his head into trembling hands. Prayer-like posture crumbling under the weight of realization. When Lemon woke, he'd apologize properly. Be kinder. Schedule nutritionists for blood replenishment. Hire physical therapists. The cardiac monitor's flatline scream shredded his plans. My endless dreams stretched across 10 lost years. At 13, I cowered beneath desks while bullies circled. This time, Jack stood beside Lucy and our parents, smirking with them. No difference after all. Mother yanked me from hiding, fingernails carving crescents into my arm. Be grateful you're an omega perfectly matched to the Wilson heir. Otherwise, I'd have abandoned you years ago. Omegas exist to serve alphas. Marrying Jack is your only worth. So being omega meant being used? Maybe I should have been born beta. Better discarded than chained to Jack Wilson for a decade. The world spun. Divorce papers materialized in my hands as Jack's voice echoed through the void. Lemon, where are you? I'm sorry. I changed my mind. Let's not get divorced. Okay? I clutched the divorce papers to my chest, running desperately through the mist. Jack, you can't take this back now. My thoughts raced faster than my pounding footsteps. Lemon, you're finally free. Forget Jack. From now on, live exactly how you want. My sprint ended abruptly when my foot caught on something. A sharp tug of blankets brought searing pain from my waist wound. Jack's ragged voice pierced through my disorientation. Lemon, you've been unconscious for 2 days. I barely managed a grimace before he started bellowing for doctors. His stubble-shadowed face hovered closer as he whispered, "The pain's bad, isn't it? I've released extra pheromones. You should feel." Pheromones? I smelled nothing but antiseptic. Blinking at his dirt-stained suit from our in ordeal, I rasped out my first conscious words. "Divorce papers. Give them." Darkness swallowed me again, but not before seeing Jack's stunned expression. He'd forgotten his own cruel words. But I remembered everyone. Voices pulled me from restless sleep. Severe blood loss complications compounded by chronic pheromone deprivation. A doctor was saying, "You never comforted your omega during distress?" "Never," Jack admitted hoarsely. "Not even when he—" The physician tried reassuring him. "You can still compensate now by increasing." "I have." Jack's voice cracked. He still wakes screaming, biting through his lip. A device beeped. "These pheromone levels should— This doesn't make sense. I can't smell anything." I murmured, ignoring Jack's shocked stare. "Can't produce pheromones either." Tests confirmed it. Hemorrhagic glandular damage. No more pheromones. No more omega designation. Just an ordinary beta again. Best news I'd had in years. Jack disagreed. He tore the results, nearly throttling the doctor. "Run the tests again. This is impossible." The physician remained calm. "Mr. Wilson, our equipment doesn't lie." Jack finally released his grip. He remained silent for a long moment before rasping. "When will he recover?" The doctor replied with mild regret. "Perhaps tomorrow. Perhaps never." That night, Jack kept vigil by my bedside as he'd done these past days. His formerly straight posture now slumped in defeat, waking from pain halfway through the night. I grimaced. Jack immediately rose to feed me painkillers, his hands trembling from excessive pheromone depletion that left him ghastly pale. "I'm sorry, so sorry." A tear splashed onto his cup-holding hand. "Lemon, I shut my eyes and turned away. I meant every word about never speaking to him again." The hospital room plunged into silence broken only by Jack's suddenly ragged breathing. He inhaled sharply before murmuring, "Let's start over." "Okay?" I burned to curse at him, but held my tongue. Only through keeping my own vows could I demand accountability from others. Jack mistook my silence for exhaustion, gently patting my shoulder as if soothing a child. He began interpreting my quietness as coquetry. From that day, he flooded me with soft-spoken words reminiscent of our better days. "Stop this stubbornness. Lemon, I swear I'll never be harsh with you again. I'll treat you right. We'll plan your art exhibition together after discharge. Just pick the venue." His voice cracked. "Say something. Lemon, yell at me if you must." I wordlessly observed him, almost believing he'd transformed back into the Jack I once knew. But was this change driven by guilt or my reversion to beta status? Both. Likely. News of my secondary gender shift apparently reached Lucy, who materialized at the hospital sporting garish makeup and aggressively emitting pheromones before Jack. "Now that she's just a beta, surely you'll consider me, Mr. Wilson. A prime alpha like you shouldn't settle for less. Our compatibility's not perfect, but my scent's quite pleasant." She leaned closer, cleavage grazing his arm. "Care for a sniff?" Danger glinted in Jack's eyes. "If this is your purpose here, get out." Lucy's rouged cheeks twitched. "Mr. Wilson." Security. 2 men in black suits entered, seizing her arms. As they dragged her out, Lucy shrieked, "Who the hell do you think you are? Jack? You married a goddamn imbecile and didn't even know it." Jack froze the guards with a raised hand. "Repeat that." His voice dropped to sub-zero temperatures, face hardening into Arctic stone. Lemon struggled free from the bodyguard's grip, straightening her collar. "Surely you've noticed by now that Lemon isn't normal? She's autistic. A complete imbecile." Lucy sneered at Jack's shocked expression. "When Mom realized we'd lost our golden ticket with you, She told Lemon you die during your rut cycle. 2 fucking sentences got that retard locked in the isolation chamber. Even knowing how violent elite alphas get during ruts, the dumb bitch walked right in thinking she was saving your life. Lucy's laughter turned shrill. We all expected her to die in there. But the moron survived and somehow married you. I listened impassively. Memories surfacing of feigning sleep in that hospital bed years ago. My mother's frustrated voice hissed. Should have let her die. The Wilsons would have paid millions for a dead daughter. My father's gruff whisper, quiet. Alive works better. We'll force Jack to marry her. So Mama's story about Jack dying had been lies all along. The one destined for death was me. Lucy's sneer brought me back. We're all in this shitstorm together now. That tunnel collapse involves both families. Touch the Peters and we'll drag the Wilson group down with us. Kiss that billion-dollar investment goodbye. Enjoy being chained to that retard till you die. Jack moved like a sprung trap, slamming Lucy against the wall, fingers digging into her throat. Say her name again. He growled through clenched teeth. And I'll end you. Only when Lucy's face turned violet did he release her. Jack looked down at the gasping woman crumpled on the floor. $1 billion's cheap price to send 3 demons to hell. Lucy trembled, eyes widening. You're insane. Fucking psycho. Her shriek cut off as security dragged her away. The hospital room settled into heavy silence. Jack turned mechanically, lips forming soundless words. I leaned against the pillows, meeting his gaze steadily, confirming every suspicion. Lemon's oddness came from neurodivergence, not calculation. Her scheming seduction never existed. She'd simply wanted to save him, clinging to the lone bright spot in her bleak existence. But Lemon didn't love him anymore. I saw the realization hit Jack, his usual gentle curiosity now tinged with grief. When he spoke again, his tone shifted to that infantilizing coo people use with the disabled. I ached to explain I wasn't intellectually challenged. Next morning, Wilson Group lawyers arrived with documents. Miss Peter, the attorney said, Mr. Wilson has compiled evidence of your family's embezzlement and criminal negligence. We can also pursue abuse charges if... Can you dissolve my marriage to Jack? I interrupted. Within weeks, the Peters faced imprisonment. Jack hired Manhattan's fiercest legal team to ensure maximum sentences. He didn't visit during the trial. Rumors said Mr. Wilson Sr. had beaten him bloody over the lost billion. When Jack finally returned, yellowing bruises still marred his face. Lemon, he said with forced lightness, no one will hurt you ever again. Yet the one who hurt me the most was you. When I pressed my lawyer for the 3rd time to finalize the divorce, an elegant-looking woman approached me. Her refined demeanor couldn't conceal the sorrow etched across her face. So you're Lemon Peter, she said. Hello. I'm Jack Wilson's mother. I froze. Jack had never mentioned her existence. Her smile trembled as she studied me. You do have such large eyes. Adorable. Really? No wonder. Jack fell so hard for you. I thanked her cautiously. Why are you here? The fragile smile shattered. I need to tell you about Jack's past. His father forcibly claimed me during my heat while en route. 2 animals driven by hormones. Her manicured nails dug into her purse. When I got pregnant, we married. It was hell. I hated his father. Hated the child growing inside me. After Jack was born, I never held him. Never showed affection. Only cruelty. You shouldn't have done that, I said stiffly. Tears spilled over her powdered cheeks. I know. Now Jack hates all Omegas because of me. Because of how I failed him. She suddenly gripped my hands, her cold fingers shaking. Forgive him, Lemon. He's destroying himself, barely eating, obsessively researching autism spectrum disorders. This is my dying wish. Your illness changes nothing. I interrupted. withdrawing my hands. If you want absolution, tell him yourself. But some wounds never heal. The advantage of being neurodivergent? Social guilt trips bounce right off. She stared through me, tears plopping onto skeletal hands. When she left, her designer coat hung like a shroud. Outside, Jack's roar echoed down the hallway. Who asked for your meddling? I don't need your pity. Muffled sobs faded into elevator chimes. Jack entered with bloodshot eyes. I swear I didn't know she'd come. His voice cracked. What did she tell you? She's dying. You're suffering. His knuckles whitened. Karma's a bitch. Since we were talking anyway. I cut to the chase. When are we finalizing the divorce? What do you want? Lemon? I'll give you everything without the paperwork. His tone had that measured calm from autism parenting guides. I turned away, shutting down the conversation. Next morning, he brought in my childhood behavioral therapist. The kind woman smiled warmly. Long time no see. Lemon. Hello, dear. Bennett. Did Jack hire you? Dear. Shen shook her head with a gentle smile. You hadn't shown up at the hospital for weeks, and your phone was off. I had to contact Jack, though I must say, Jack shared many things about you. I expected him to focus on treatment plans, but instead he kept asking how to make you comfortable, what foods you preferred, which music calmed you. He even begged me to teach him how to apologize properly if he upset you again. I tensed. Are you here to speak for him too? No. Her smile softened. I told him autistic individuals are like solitary stars or pearls hidden in oyster shells. When such a person chooses to trust you, it's like the oyster willingly revealing its most vulnerable treasure. After hearing this, she paused. Jack broke down sobbing. Said he destroyed something precious. Swore he loved you. Begged for forgiveness. My fingers traced the raised scar beneath my hospital gown. The oyster's tender flesh now bore permanent wounds. Its shell clamped shut. Lemon, dear. Shen continued. I'm not here to persuade you. But you should know this, you deserve more than pity. You're worthy of respect, of love, of choosing your own path. Her words settled like sunlight through clinic windows. My resolve hardened. Jack's bloodshot eyes betrayed him daily, though he maintained frantic cheerfulness. Lemon. He crouched by my wheelchair today, clutching paperwork. I'm starting an autism foundation in your name. We'll fund therapies. Build community centers. Your business. I interrupted, staring at the divorce papers in my lap. He froze mid-gesture before sinking to one knee, fingers brushing my wrist. Let's go back to how things were. Please. I yanked my sleeve up, revealing the jagged scar spanning my forearm. His breath hitched as if seeing it anew. Can't undo this. I didn't know you were hurt that night. You promised me a divorce. His arms encircled me suddenly, trembling. Don't cast me out. I sat frozen, every muscle locked. Jack kept inventing delays, overworked lawyers, paperwork errors. Then his rut began, confined to our home office during recovery. He emerged sweating and disheveled one afternoon. The air hung heavy with distressed alpha pheromones. No trace of Lemon remained to soothe him. He staggered past me into the bedroom, frantically digging through dresser drawers. Soon he lay buried in my clothes, a desperate bird building a nest from discarded sweaters and scarves. His trembling inhales sought fading citrus traces. Hold me, came the muffled plea from the fabric mound. I wheeled away as broken whimpers followed me down the hall. I touched the shriveled sink gland at the nape of my neck, pulling out a suppressant. My pheromones are gone now, I said flatly. You should take this. Jack's eyes deepened with pain as he reached out hoarsely. All right, sign the divorce papers first. I snapped my hand back. Countless times before, Jack had used pheromones or suppressants to coerce me into unbearable situations. Today, the tables had turned, mimicking his old condescending tone. I looked down at him from my wheelchair. Everything comes at a price. His jaw muscle twitched violently. No divorce. He roared, eyes bloodshot. The suppressant vial shattered against the floor. I rolled forward, wheelchair wheels crunching over glass shards until our faces were inches apart. Remember when you did this to me? I watched recognition flood his crimson eyes. If you truly despise being controlled by pheromones, why not remove your own gland? No gland. No primal urges. Why blame others? Retreating. I observed Jack collapse like a withdrawal-ridden addict amidst torn fabric and broken glass, his choked sobs echoing. Jack? The familiar name tasted like rusted metal. I hate you so much. He signed the papers before his rut cycle ended. Lawyers scrambling through hospitalizations as doctors cited severe physical and psychological trauma. I left the mansion at dawn without glancing back, abandoning my phone for a new life with my corgi in an unfamiliar city. My illustration skills landed me work at a publishing house. Slowly, routines formed, mornings painting book covers to save electricity, afternoons at the clay pot rice shop where the owner kept slipping wagyu beef into my meals, today's lucky customer. Evenings curled with Dobao watching movies. The universe seemed determined to compensate me. I found a pet-friendly apartment across from work. Kept winning bizarre convenience store prizes, air conditioner, microwave, and discovered fireworks often bloomed over neighboring rooftops during blackouts. Yet shadows lingered, sometimes at the subway station or park sketching sessions. Neck hairs would prickle with unseen observation. I never turned to look. His name remained an unhealed wound, invisible until prodded. Then bleeding fresh agony. News apps stayed deleted. Gossip columns went unread. When the art store cashier mentioned Wilson Group's stock plunge, I hummed distractedly while buying Prussian blue pigments. The trembling stopped after 3 blocks. Tonight, as I mix cerulean with memories, Dobao's sudden bark pierces my studio. The intercom screen flickers with a deliverman holding roses, 118 white stems exactly. My old security code number. My fingers freeze above the deny entry button. Outside, autumn leaves scrape concrete in spirals. Somewhere beyond the camera's range, a familiar shadow shifts. The intercom crackles with static breath before disconnecting. I crush dried lavender between palms, inhaling sharply. The doorbell stays silent. Ever since the injury, my body never fully recovered. Whenever temperatures drop or snow falls, I inevitably catch a cold. The scar on my waist would itch and ache painfully. But before the next snowfall arrived, the publishing house suddenly announced mandatory physical exams. Dreading crowded hospitals, I protested, but I already had my checkup today. The supervisor grinned. Lemon, as our star employee, you're being rewarded with a premium appointment at a private hospital. No waiting lines. When I hesitated, he raised an eyebrow. Company perk, free gifts included with the exam. All right, I finally agreed. After a night spent speculating about potential gifts, I arrived at the clinic the next morning. Following extensive tests, the doctor gravely advised me to stay warm before prescribing a mountain of medications, including scar reduction cream. Stranger still, everything came free of charge, along with a year's worth of premium checkup packages. Suspicion crept in. This hospital must owe our publisher favors, substituting actual employee bonuses with medical handouts. Hugging my pharmaceutical haul, I lamented the lost cash value. The clinic's incompetence became evident when I developed flu symptoms 2 weeks later. Waiting until after work, I trudged to a street-side hospital for late-night ER registration. The deserted waiting area suited me perfectly. High fever with lung infection. The doctor declared after reviewing my tests. Not critical, but we recommend hospitalization. I shook my head vehemently. Just 4 fluids. Please. Staying here would kill me faster than this fever. After swearing to follow medication schedules, I finally got approved. The chilly infusion room gradually emptied until only I remained slumped against the wall. Down jacket had pulled over my face as drowsiness overtook me. Through the haze, someone settled beside me. Cool wall tiles vanished as warm shoulders intercepted my head's slow tilt. Though desperate to wake, my eyelids refused cooperation. A muddled sorry escaped before consciousness slipped away. The nurse removing my foreneedle found me alone. Do you know who was sitting here earlier? I pressed cotton against my hand. Wasn't he with you? She blinked. Definitely not a patient. Stumbling into the freezing night, I spotted a taxi idling outside. The driver rolled down his window. Free ride special. My throat tightened. Did Jack send you? The man hesitated. Some guy paid me $100 to wait for a white down jacket. He trailed off at my expression. You coming? Blood roared in my ears as tremors racked my body. That persistent jerk. Ignoring the driver's calls, I bolted down the street. My hood flew back, letting icy blades slash at exposed neck and stinging eyes. A tall, shadowy figure chased after me from behind, growing closer. Lemon, please stop running. Came that familiar yet foreign voice. I sprinted faster, but tripped around the corner. Pain shooting through my body as I struggled to rise. The next moment, strong arms lifted me by the waist. Where did you fall? Show me where it hurts? Jack demanded. I thrashed in his embrace. Eyes squeezed shut and hands clamped over my ears. Get away from me. Leave me alone. I shrieked. Why did you have to reappear? Why keep tormenting me? Jack, you're despicable. I'd nearly forgotten you. Almost made it. My violent reaction startled Jack. He carefully set me down on the stone steps and retreated 2 meters. I glared. Further back, he took 2 more steps, limping homeward. I turned to snarl, don't follow me. Can't hear you from this distance. Jack called after me. Shameless bastard. After shooting him a final glare, I hurried inside. Post-shower restlessness had me pacing between bedroom and living room until I inevitably peered through the peephole. Jack stood sentry outside, snowmelt darkening his shoulders. His gaze seemed to pierce through the door as Dobop barked in my arms. Lemon, are you listening? He pressed against the wood, voice dropping. My mother died yesterday. That beautiful. Ruthless Omega? My grip tightened on the doorknob. His ragged whisper continued. I have no mother now. I used to hate her. But even having someone to resent felt better than this emptiness. How could she die before making things right? Fingers flexing against cold metal. I remained still. Silence stretched until I heard him slump against the wall. You're all I have left. Lemon, keep hating me if you must. But don't banish me. Don't hide. He stood, turning away. Look, I obeyed. Had the gland removed. My breath caught. A savage scar crawled up his neck below the hairline. Madman. After a year's absence, Jack appeared leaner yet more persistent than ever. He began shadowing my days, camping outside the publishing house for hours, occupying infusion room chairs during my 4 treatments with infuriating nonchalance. When my health restored, Jack fell ill. He pressed his burning forehead against my doorframe, standing at my entrance. Lemon, let me come in and warm up for a bit. Okay? I glared. You should go to the hospital. Jack offered a faint smile, his voice weak. All right, you go inside then. I'll be fine. The moment the door clicked shut, a heavy thud echoed from the hallway. Predictably, Jack ended up sprawled on my living room couch. I stood planted on the beige carpet between sofa and coffee table, arms crossed. You lied. His dramatic collapse had been pure theater. Jack tilted his head back with a grin, slipped on the welcome mat, turning away. I snapped. Go back to running your empire. Stop bothering me. Mr. Wilson Sr. Reclaimed the company, Jack said quietly. Only manage the charity foundation now. His scorching palms gripped my shoulders as he moved closer. We named it Lemonade. Catchy, right? When they removed my gland during surgery, I nearly died. 3 months in coma. His thumbs traced circles through my sweater. 90 days of dreaming about you. Woke up thinking, it's okay if you never forgive me. I'll watch over you from afar. Keep you safe. Healthy. The hands anchoring me shook violently. I kept staring at the wall. The convenience store gifts. That was you? Yes. The publisher's mandatory physicals. That specialty hospital. Guilty. Whirling around. I jabbed his chest. My job, too. No. No. Jack raised his arms in surrender. You'd already landed the position when I found you. But he swallowed hard. I bought the company. The clay pot rice shop, too. Just supplied Wagyu and tiger prawns to the chef. My hands flew to my hips. What else? Blackout fireworks. His lashes dipped. You've always hated the dark. Tears spilled over before I could blink. Jack crushed me against his pounding heart, murmuring apologies into my hair as I struggled. You're insufferable. I choked out. I know. His lips brushed my temple repeatedly. Let me make amends. Lemon, let me stay. I said nothing, watching snowflakes settle on the windowsill. This winter promised to stretch endlessly. Yet for the first time, the endless white didn't chill my bones.